Okay.
Hello. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, we're going to be starting
Right away,
today.
please. Just ensure you mute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me loud and clear?
Okay, thank you. So we're going to be looking at um, assessment. So assessment is divided into two aspects. We have looked at audit. So today we're going to be looking at external quality assessment under assessment. This is basic quality management system training by Pegasus Consultancy. And my name is Dr. Ali Israel. So learning objectives at the end of this module, participants will be able to understand the importance of an EQA program in improving the quality of laboratory test results. Next, describe at least 3 EQA methods and the advantages and disadvantages of each. You should be able to explain how to investigate unacceptable EQA results. EQA stands for External Quality Assessment. So assessment is one of the 12 quality system essential. I know by now you would have been quite familiar with the 12 quality system essential by the virtue of this program and a whole lot you have done. Now, EQA, in other words, External Quality Assessment Program performance against the pre-established criteria is according to the ISO 1704320 validate the participant, the people who are doing the ISO program. If you don't have an EQA program, you can also do a form of interlab comparison, which is also serve as what an external quality assessment program. Now, what are the EQA methods? One, we have proficiency testing, retesting, and rechecking, on-site evaluation. These are the three major uh, types of what EQA method: proficiency testing, retesting, and rechecking, then on-site evaluation. These I'm going to explain as we go along. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type on the chat box. I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you. Now, what are the importance and the benefit of the EQA program? It helps you to detect early warning for systemic problem. It helps the objective to measure the quality of the process of the analytical, and also part of the pre-analytical, also the post-analytical. It helps for customer satisfaction. It gives you a recognition as a quality laboratory. There are also panels and rare conditions that can be used for teaching sometimes to improve the reliability of your test results, because your internal quality assurance program may not be able to ascertain some part of what the reliability of your test. It helps to identify areas of improvement. These and many more are the benefit of an EQA program. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, please type on the chat box. I can hear you. If you can hear me, please type on the chat box that I can hear you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we go next. What is the definition of an external quality assessment, EQA? EQA is the evaluation of participant performance against a pre-established criteria by means of what? Interlaboratory comparison. Now, that is a simplest form of definition of EQA. The evaluation of participant performance against a pre-established criteria by means of what? An interlaboratory comparison. This is according to the ISO 15189-2022 definition. Now, EQA program recommendation for all laboratories, recommended for what? All laboratories. It's required by the ISO standard. It can either be free or paid for, depending on what you are being subscribed to. So it can either be free or paid for. Then it can be voluntary or mandatory, national or international. It could be national EQA program, it could be international EQA program. All depends on what you have at that particular time. Program or an EQA program. They will send the sample to your lab. Now, each laboratory handles the sample according to the given set of instruction and at a particular time, you're supposed to maybe send the result either via email or via their portal, whatever it is you are doing, depending on the proficiency testing that you are actually using. Now, it determines the performance of individual laboratory for specific examination and is used to monitor the laboratory continuous performance. Now, this EQA process include one, you have an EQA provider, you have a participant lab. So the EQA provider sends you the EQA, the panel, the specimen. You, the participant lab, analyze the panel and the specimen. Now, when you analyze the specimen, what happens? You send the result to the EQA provider. Now, the EQA provider analyze the result from you, the participant lab, that means from your lab, make performance report and send to the lab. So they give you a feedback based on your performance. If it's going to be if it's acceptable or not acceptable. If it's like a quantitative testing, they can also give you the percentage of is it below 1 SD, 2 SD, plus or minus 1 SD or 2 SD, and whatever it is, and show you if the performance is accepted or not. So once you receive the report, what is expected of the participant lab is to review the report and take action as when needed. So you review the report. If the report is accepted, fine. If it's not accepted, you need to do what? Take a corrective action and implement that corrective action to ensure that what your EQA program is gone. So if you receive the result and you don't review it, then it's as good as if you have not done the EQA program. Am I communicating? So what are the EQA limitations? EQA results are affected by variables not related to patient samples. EQA may not detect all the problems in the lab. Example, like some problems in the pre-analytical and post-analytical process. Does not measure routine performance. Now, since results are received later than when testing is occurred, it's difficult to know what was wrong with the testing system at that particular time that is being done. So those are some of the shortfall of EQA limitation. Now, however, we talked about proficiency testing, we talked about retesting and rechecking. So for retesting and rechecking, as part of what an EQA, external quality assessment, there's a peripheral lab, there's a reference lab. Now, the reference lab, now the retesting is done by a reference lab. Remember, look at this picture. We have retesting and rechecking. So the peripheral lab, let's say the side lab or the sub lab, takes the sample to the reference lab. Now it's done by the reference lab, not blinded. If it needs statistical significant number of samples for performance evaluation. Example, used to assess maybe HIV rapid testing. You can use this. So you do it and send back the result. Now, in rechecking, reflect the reality of the routine performance. Samples must be collected randomly for rechecking process. Example, let's say use of AFP smell microscopy. Now, use of corrective statistics for sampling and analyzing of the data. Then you have to resolve the discrepancies, then provide an effective feedback when the rechecking is being done. Now,
On-site evaluation, please listen. On-site evaluation, this provides for direct personal contact as the external organizer visit the participatory lab. Remember that we said we have three forms of what? External quality assessment. I said one is what? Proficiency testing. Two, retesting and rechecking. Number three, on-site evaluation. So these are the three forms of what? External quality assessment method that we are, but the most common ones are between proficiency testing and retesting and rechecking. Then for this on-site evaluation, you provide a direct personnel contact. As the external organizer now of this EQA, we visit your lab, allow for observation of the actual work to obtain a realistic picture of the laboratory practice. Example, let's say biosafety and the rest. It provides assistance with the problem area, permit verification of discrepancy between the results of the assessor and that of the lab. Now, this can be labor intensive and can be expensive. Imagine if somebody is to travel from a country to come to your lab to just do a testing. So that's why you see most of the forms of external quality assessment program that is common has to do with proficiency testing, where they send you the sample, you analyze, you send back to them, they analyze your result, give you a feedback while they send back the results of your performance to you. Then also you have to look at it, review your performance, and take a corrective action where necessary. Can you all hear me? Yeah, I believe you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, let's say, for example, this is an example of an AFV microscopy, reduction of an error rate and non-conformities. This is from an operation lab. This you see numbers of sand bucket errors 96%. Yeah, errors of rate after checking 27, 60, and it is like a comparison of reduction of error rate and of non-conformances doing recheck and retesting between a lab for a particular process. Now, participating in EQA programs. When you want to participate in an EQA program, you have to integrate the EQA sample into your routine workflow. This is very, very important. There are some people that have like Lord of the Ring. When they want to do the EQA program, they have some specialists within the lab, within the space, maybe the chief or the manager who comes to do it. So everyone who is running the test, running the patient test, should be able to participate in the EQA. So there should not be any special preferences. If you are doing special preferences, then definitely you will not get the ideal status of your lab performance when it comes to that. So there must not be any special person who have to attend to the EQA program. To integrate the EQA program samples into your routine workflow. Let's say, for example, now if it has to be registered, you can register it even from your pre-analytical and let it go on through everything, the processes and the rest. Treat EQA sample as a routine sample using the same procedure. Use same person who tests the routine samples. Anybody who is testing the patient sample is qualified to do what? To test the EQA program. Do not communicate with peer labs about the proficiency data before submission of result. But we don't call another lab, oh, what do you have in this? Or what's your result on this? What's your result on that? Before submitting what? Your result. Those are what? Bad practices. Now, participating in EQA program, do not refer EQA samples for confirmatory examination by another lab. So don't send your EQA program to another lab to confirm before you submit results. Monitor and maintain the records. So there are records of the EQA. You have to monitor it and maintain. Investigate the cause of failure and implement what corrective action. This is what I've explained earlier. So when the feedback is given to you, you have to investigate if there why did you fail it? What happened? Was it an equipment error? Was it a personnel error? Was it a transcription error? Was it an internal error? You have to look at what the cause of failure. And it's expected that you communicate the outcome to relevant personnel and stakeholders. So it's expected that you also discuss it within the lab personnel. There should be a proof of meetings where these EQA programs are being discussed. So that is what is expected when participating in an EQA program. Now, EQA performance problem can occur in any phase, from the EQA material to the sample management. This has to do with pre-analytical, the examination phase, the PT provider, the report, a whole lot of things. So what can lead to an EQA failure? at each of the stage of this phase? That's something you should like. This is just a discussion question. What do you think can lead to an EQA failure? So a lot of things can lead to an EQA failure. Let's say, for example, if you were to reconstitute the let's say the EQA material and you did not constitute it very well, can lead to failure. Let's say, for example, you have to put 5 million and you want to put 6 million, or your pipetting is because your pipette is not even well calibrated and it's not pipetting the actual volume. It can lead. Let's say, for example, if you were to ask to stand for a particular minute, let's say, for example, if there's a failure in your IQC, your examination phase, let's say your QC did not pass for that day, definitely your EQA program will definitely have issues. So there are a lot of things that go. Sometimes even when the result is ready, and there could be transcription error. Somebody's trying to type 114.7, end up typing 147. So a lot of things could affect why your EQA program can fail. Now, alternative approach to EQA and PT. Whenever an EQA program is not available, use alternative method. So the alternative method, someone say, oh, my lab cannot subscribe to an EQA program. The EQA program is too expensive. Use what? Or you can use alternative method. Using materials from tissue repository, certified reference material like ATCC, exchange of sample with other lab. That's what it's called, like a form of interlab. But you have to document it. Retesting and rechecking. Control material testing in a daily interlab comparison program. These are programs that you can use as alternative if you cannot have an EQA program. Why not if you can have? Go, because EQA program compares your result with a whole lot of labs. And you also compare your method to method and your equipment to equipment. So imagine a lab where in EQA program where you have over 200 participants from different countries. So you know how you match in terms of quality of your result to all others. So these are other alternative forms for EQA program. I believe this is well understood. If you have any question, you can type it on the comment section. If you have any question, you can type it on the comment section. I hope I'm not too fast. Okay. So can you hear me loud and clear? Can I continue? Okay. So, no, protocol for alternative approach must be documented. So if you have your alternative approach, you have to document it. There must be proof of documentation. If it's not properly documented, the alternative method will not be accepted. Thank you. So, next is result from the PTA and EQA or alternative approach should lead to action for improvement. So that's the essence. So you have a PTA result, whether from EQA program or proficiency testing or from your other alternative approach. You need to use it as an opportunity for improvement, and you have to take what actions. And that's the only way it becomes beneficial. So if you just do it like an exercise, like a religious exercise, or like a routine exercise, oh, we do EQA, you just do it and dump. And then they so that we do. If there are no actions taken, if you don't see it as a form of an area of improvement, and it can also serve as a quality indicator. Let's say, for example, in chemistry department or in hematology department, microbiology department, if you have, let's say, 95% pass acceptance rate for your EQA program, you can say in the next year, you want to have 100% proficiency testing pass. So that can serve as an indicator. So if last year you had 90%, and the previous year after assessment, you for a period of time, you have 95%, you have actually improved, but you have not met your quality indicator. If we say it should be 100, at the end, it means that if you do a 10 proficiency testing, you should have an acceptance result for all the 10, which is also very, very well possible. So please look at this. So what are the various issues that affect implementation of an EQA program? So you do that. What are the various issues that can affect an EQA program? So that this is like a form of a group discussion. So now, so this is going to be like an assessment and assignment. So you are going to write. So you are going to write this. You pick two. What are the benefits of EQA program to the laboratory and the general public? Now, number two, what challenges do you encounter in your country concerning EQA participation, and how would you solve them? Number three, how will you justify the need for EQA to your lab management? What action would you take in the event of poor PT performance? So this is going to be like an assessment. So every one of us are going to do this and submit back to me and to us at the end of the day. So this is going to be your assignment. The fourth question: what are the benefits of EQA to the laboratory and public? What challenges do you encounter in your country or in your lab concerning EQA participation? How will you solve them? Number three, how will you justify the need of an EQA to your management? What action will you take in the event of a poor PT performance? So you do this, do it in a Word document, and you send it to Pegasus ltd@gmail.com. I'll put it on the platform. So this is going to form like an assessment for this program. Now, in summary, EQA is a system for objectively checking the laboratory performance using an external agency. All laboratories should participate in an EQA program, either proficiency testing or other forms of other alternative. If you don't have an EQA program, you can't have an accreditation. Shows that there's no level of quality. Several methods of EQA are in use. So look for one that is convenient by you and use. EQA sample must be treated as the same as what patient or the lab sample. Now, what are the key messages? EQA uses valuable resources, participate fully. EQA should not be punitive. EQA should be viewed as educational and not what being punitive. No, it's not a form of punishment. EQA can help direct improvement efforts. EQA is a critical element for quality management system. So this and this. I will send you the
I will send you the. I will send us when the website is up. I will be able to send you access to all these materials up there for you to read at your own time and way. However, I will copy the question and set on our platform so that we'll be able to make justice to it. Okay, that will be all. Just a minute.